So have you taken a look at the guided notes? I didn't get them up until last night, so they're completely new.
Let me see.
So I've redone the revised tentative class assignments. So they used to be in table format, and now I've just done it like this way, and I have not spent the time to link things because it's just too much time for me. I still need to grade as well as prep things. So I try to grade your writing, the midterm exam, and then the midterm exam before I have to post the next section of writing the final, okay? So this all takes time if I link things. So, then there is the Zoom sessions, which you're in. And I have posted this morning discussion week 13, and then the claim letters are due on Friday. Everyone's responses to the claim letters are due tonight. So we have, next week you'll be posting your star speeches if you weren't a candidate. And I can't remember which Caitlin was a candidate. Were you the candidate?
Yeah, I was the candidate.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about posting the video for that, but you will have to post a video for your formal presentation on your report. Okay, so that would be coming up in a couple of weeks. Zoom sessions, discussion, formal presentation. So that's this week. Okay, May 6th to the 8th. Okay, so let me go back here. What were you gonna ask a question?
No.
Okay.
How do you access the guided notes again?
Just go to the class. It should be the first page that comes up.
Oh, okay. What's on the home screen are the guided notes, I see.
Yeah, that's the guided
Okay.
notes. All right. Before it used to just be that one page, and I thought that this would be a little bit easier. And then I really trying to go to really just bullet points, make it really simple. Then everybody else is kind of overwhelmed. I did ask you to sign up for the conferences. This is the conference instructions, which is next week. And then you have the conference calendar. So if you both click on that, if you have access to your computer, if you click on that, you can sign up for your conference next week. And I can walk you through what times are available, explain to you how to do this, okay? So next week's Zoom sessions are hopefully taken up with one-on-ones with going over your completed, a complete draft of your written report, or your complete draft of your writing project, okay? As complete as possible. It will not be due, it was supposed to be due on April 27th, which is a Monday, because now I reverted to Friday deadlines. It won't be due until May 1st, so you'll have an extra week. So I'm trying to look at it with you and have you discuss it with me before it's due. Okay, and I give you points to do this. How are you? Okay, go ahead, Caitlin. Sorry.
I just had a question about the length of the report. There's no minimum, right?
No. So in your English composition classes or literature classes, they might give you a word count because they're dealing with expository composition, which is like long division in every single step. But in business writing, it's completely opposite. It's really clear, concise, right? So you need to be to the point, clearly stated, and relevant. So I don't give you a word count.
Okay.
Okay, what is your topic on again?
I had switched it. So my topic is, I guess, the decline in applicants for business administration.
Okay. And so more than likely you're going to have point out why. The sources probably are saying why. So, and is this a report 2? Report 2,
yes.
Okay. So you'll be presenting what your literature says, and then you'll be making sense of it for me, your reader, as well as making sense of it for yourself so that you're equipping yourself for an interview where you might be able to talk about it. Who knows?
Okay.
You might even use it as a question if you're given the opportunity, if it fits, makes a relevant, what question do you have kind of comment. So So yes, and once you have something drafted, right, you try to do a complete report, you'll be able to discuss it better, and I'll be able to help you better with it.
Okay.
All right. Harpreet, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing QuickBooks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How's it going? Okay.
I haven't started yet.
Okay. But
I'm in
okay,
the
so you
draft. I
have to
haven't
have it
started.
done next week. And the problem is that most students would want to meet with me on the last day. I can't have everybody meet with me on the last day. I'll be brain dead.
Mhm.
So I do say that I won't take more than 10 students for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I won't take more than 5 on Tuesday and Thursday. But you can meet with me in the morning. You can meet with me up until 8 p.m. Believe me, you don't want to talk to me after 8 p.m. I'll be mush. So, and you have to do those by a campus conversation. If you cannot meet with me during the regularly, like 12 to 1, right? That's when we have this 12 to 1. So please sign up. Please think about it. Please sign up. I know that the Monday people may have a rougher complete draft than a Friday person, but not necessarily. Depends on when you sit down and try to write it. Good?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to here. I would say Wednesday you probably might have some more questions on the claim letter. Have you looked at it? Have you looked at the claim letter assignments?
I skimmed it.
Caitlin?
I didn't look at it.
Okay, so take a look at it. The feedback that I hopefully provide timely tomorrow, and then more specifically on Wednesday, should help you be able to draft that claim letter. But the claim letter shouldn't be a draft, it should be a final letter. So I did, if you participated, I can't remember who, I think everybody did here, in the discussion week 12 here. If you did this, and this is open, so I can just scroll down here. I just have to put in find. There you are. Okay, so you commented. Oh, there you are. Okay, there you are. Good. Everybody's commented. All right. So, okay, so, and the one thing I looked at was, did you tell them 24 hours? So Harpreet, just skimming it real quick. I goofed. I gave you one spelling in Mr. Lord, and then I gave you a different spelling in the email address. You caught that. Good job. Okay. So I'm not taking off on that. I should have had the same spelling, but you do have to be very careful with spelling of names and email addresses. You begin the email in a way that's not repetitive. A lot of people will say, I am writing this email. And you don't, that's redundant because your name's on it and it is an email. So you don't have to tell the person that you're writing it as an email. So, but you said it differently. I'm contacting you on behalf. So I was looking at students in the different ways that they started their emails. So that was a good job, good different way to begin. Okay. And then people usually do a decent job of describing these things and explaining what's happening. And what I'm looking for is that you say, I'd like you to get this done within 24 hours. And of course you would have to follow it up. So the only thing, if you put your, if you had your contact information down here and you put this here, you wouldn't need to give it, but it's fine because you did put it down below. All right. So, and you put your required statement. So good job. And then Caitlin, is yours down here too? Did you do it?
Yes, I did it. I don't remember. I think it was one of the first ones, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. Okay, so, and you had the other one. So this is perfect.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So, and then I will put this in my recorded video version. Typically for this type of a comment, if a employee ever sends you this kind of an email, you would not respond in an email. You would, when you saw them and you could call them in, you would talk to them about their concerns, but also about that you don't send that type of a tone, and that you always need to exercise professionalism, which that particular email sent by Jane Doe was reactive. It was emotional. So she sent it too soon after the meeting, and she didn't calm down, and she didn't really proofread well before sending it. So typically when a student does that with me, I just ignore it, but I do talk to the student as soon as I possibly can. You would do the same thing with an employee. You would not call, please don't call them on the carpet. I've had bosses react, so they call you and make a big deal about it. But you can just, I've had another better boss, when he saw me, he just said, come on in, I have something to talk with you. And you sit down and he just kind of goes over, and then he explained a better way to go about it. And that would be the better way. And then you document it for the HR files. But I wanted students to have the opportunity to consider what happens when people send an emotional email to you and how you would best reply. So, and I do like that you started with the good news. Okay, so I appreciate the facts. So something of appreciation, and I haven't really read through this one. Let's see here. And you just didn't address the tone of her email. When you did you think about how to do it?
I did, but it was still I was still a little bit confused on how to write it.
Yeah, I know. I really think that the best paragraph, was it in this class? I think it was at my other class. It was my other class, and I'll make sure that it's on the video that I make. If I come up here, this is it. This was the best response I had. So in the future, I suggest when communicating with peers, supervisors, or customers, you do so in a way that is respectful and professional. By doing so, we can maintain a mutually beneficial outcome. This enhances collaboration between all parties, eliminating feelings of opposition. Email above does not represent these values very well, and the continuation of this behavior will result in consequences to be allocated. Maybe the last sentence needed some work, but I thought that that was probably the best one that I've seen in addressing formally what to say about the tone of that. So I was going to commend that student for doing that. Okay, so and then I guess, am I sharing? Did I share with you? Am I sharing my screen with you or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great, so you can see it. So so you got the feedback on those when you take a look at the claim letter. The claim letter is the hardest assignment. That's why I have it toward the end of the semester. But I'm going to say that overall, I was really pretty pleased with students did. Did you go through the chapter? Did you go through the PowerPoint? How did you wind up being able to draft a very good draft, both of you? How did you do it? Caitlin?
I reviewed the PowerPoints, and I Googled the chapters online.
Okay.
So they kind of showed a little bit of an example.
Yes.
For the most part, I just kind of freestyled it.
Okay.
I tried my best. Yeah.
Okay, so but you did take a look at what was available online, and
Yeah.
remember my counsel in this assignment was you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are many of these letters out there and emails that will show you what to say. Harpreet, what'd you do?
I looked at the PowerPoints and then I sort of wrote an email as if I were in the situation.
Oh, okay, so you wrote an email that if you were the person who had sent it would want it, yes?
Well, yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of both. It's you write it as a writer, but then you're thinking about your reader and what they would need to be able to act. So and that's always a very good practice. So as a writer, you're always thinking about what will best communicate to your reader what you need to get done. And that's where these ethos, logos, and pathos come in. Remember that from English class? Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, being credible, that has to do with how you spell things and your grammar, but also and how you sign it and give contact information. Being logical, how you present things, but also in both of these, I would say the first one with the air conditioner, very much you need to be some emotional because it's your 71-year-old relative in 100+ degree weather with no air conditioning. So you do need to convey some of that passion. So you use those ethos, logos, and pathos as a writer to manipulate your reader into getting you what you want. And you want that air conditioner fixed within 24 hours for the health of your relative. And with the other one, you want the employee to keep coming back to you, but to kind of rein it in and maybe encourage the person to stop by and chat with you first before writing something like that, because email never dies. Good?
I have a question.
Sure.
So for the practice that we did on the discussion board, that's going to be our claim letter that we submit, but revised, right? Or,
Nope. You have a
There's
completely
a different scenario.
You have a
Oh, okay.
different scenario.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
right.
Mhm.
And based on what you guys did and the feedback I'll give you, I have high hopes that you're going to do well.
Okay.
Okay.
It's going to be written as a letter this time instead of an
Right.
email.
A letter. And if let's go on over there. If I go on over to, we'll go on over to the claim letter assignment, make sure I've got it right. Okay. So, and I have to warn because some people jump to an assignment without doing anything. So you've gone through the PowerPoints at least and maybe skimmed through the chapters. The instructional video, once I get it posted up. So here it is, letter block form. Please remember that you are an employee of Artwork Online, which means you will have a company letterhead. A simple letterhead is fine. You don't need a logo or anything, all right, but you do need to have a company address, okay, with basic contact information as well as a job title. So think of, whatever title would be appropriate in this situation. Please do not write an anonymous letter, which means customer service at Artworks, something or another. Please use your name, okay? There's the address. And of course you spell out everything in letters in a letter for me, okay? I'm old school here. And then I give you the instructions and it's pulled right from the textbook. If you go to Guffey and Lowy, chapter 8, at the back of it, there's 8.25. That's the exact assignment, only it's an email and I'm asking you to write a letter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And your task, compose a letter adjustment message that regains the customer's confidence. All right, so that would be your number one goal in writing this. We can restretch but not replace. So there's a problem with something that they've bought and it didn't work. All right, and these are very common in business, especially if you're going to go into a business that has a product. This is considered the common assignment for the department. Everybody gets the same one. So some of your letters will be pulled to be assessed, and that's how they're going to assess them. And then I have this one down here. I think I have required statement, letter format, letter body, complimentary closing, and editing. So I do have less than theirs up above, which if you follow the one up above, you'll do well, the criteria. And this is worth 10% of your grade. So that's why I had you do the discussion board on it. That's why I'm having you comment on each other's. And that's why I will create that short discussion board or instructional video for tomorrow to go over common errors so you don't make them in this assignment that's worth so much of your grade. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Anything?
Do you happen to have, or will we get an example of the letter, the claim letter, or not this time?
No.
Okay.
All right. What you meant how to write that claim letter? An example of that claim letter?
Well, because for other assignments that we've had, you've had examples of those specific assignments. So I
Oh,
didn't know if you want an example for this
well,
assignment.
and the examples will be the discussion board, and I will just comment on, like I said, I think everybody did fairly well on that discussion board. There are a few things that need to be tweaked, such as spelling, dates, the things that I kind of went over with you in this session. But overall, people did what I asked them to do. So if you do just as well as what I've asked you, what you did on the discussion board, you should be fine on this.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a better comfort level having looked at what you've done. All right. So, and you can take a look on the discussion board and well, wait till I do the video. I'm going to do the video
Okay.
tomorrow and get it posted. I highlight the things like the one student who did that, did the tone better. I will make sure that that's in that video. And then this is recorded, so I will post it under recorded Zoom sessions. And I didn't go over the discussion week for 13, which is another practice letter. My method for my madness here is I needed for you to have 2 weeks to work on the claim letter because it issues in an assignment that's worth 10% of your grade. So I pulled in that assignment before finishing up the after the interview correspondence. So now we're taking this 1 week and we're going to draft out one of these letters that's in the last half of chapter 16 in Guthrie and Lowy, depending on what your last name begins with. And that is for the final exam. So that is going to be one of the 2 essay questions. You will get one of these letters to have to write for the final exam, but you don't have a 10% assignment on it. Okay?
Okay. All
right. So Guthrie and Lowy, it's not that much. It's what, page 605 through 613. So what is that? That isn't even, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. So if you read through that and just exactly follow what they did, you will do fine on this. Okay, the discussion board. It's real life writing. You're going to have to write these things. So that's it. Okay, good. Any other questions?
Would you be able to tell us who did good on the negative and positive discussions?
Okay, so I did go over Harpreet's and Caitlin's response, so let me go over yours. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my Word document that I've been commenting because this is what I'm going to create my video on. And then let me say Hardwick, fine, Hardwick. There you are. Okay, so the green is, I don't know why I did yellow. Oh, I just needed you to tell me who you were from. It just made it easier for me to find. So in your letter, just make sure that you have your letterhead. That's basic details about who you are, because if you ever get a letter from someone and they're asking you something, but they don't give you a return address or a phone number, there's no way that you can fulfill what they're asking of you. The green highlights something you've done well. So I was looking for different ways of introducing the letter the first time, the first sentence. A lot of people were saying, I am writing this email and your name's on it and it is an email, so you don't need to have to say that. So you did very well of not being redundant. My name is Ashley Hardwick and I'm emailing on behalf of my grandmother, which I think was better than just saying, I am writing this email. Okay?
Right, okay.
All right. I don't know why I said hardwood yellow, I don't know. So the only other thing here that you need, I have made the recommendation to do is when you are drafting out your any kind of correspondence, do it in a Word file with Grammarly. And then after you drafted it out and then you proofread it, Word will actually underline these things. So see the blue underline? I'm going to make this bigger here so that we can see it better. Make this bigger. I'll go up here. Okay, so if you see these underlines here, so it's underlined, which means that there's a problem. And for me, if you just right click, it's going to give you the apostrophe. Right click, this one should give you the, it's either well-being or well-being. So it's spelling or turnaround. I think turnaround is also one word as well. So turnaround is one word. So just make sure that you do that when you are writing something, and I'm not going to do that because I want to be able to point that out in the essay. So that was what I had comment-wise. You got your statement. Good job. I would mark that with a green. So good job there. And then if you had put your phone number down below, then you wouldn't need to put it here, but that you put it in there is perfectly fine because now they can call you.
Okay.
Right? And since you're emailing it, it's automatically going to give you an email. What I also want to say is you caught this. You got the spelling of his name correct, and then I misspelled his name in the email, but you got that. So feel good about being detail oriented. It was my mess up. But in another way, it kind of proves whether students were paying attention to how
I remember looking at that and I was like, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to put what the description said there.
Yeah, so as that is a perk, I have corrected it so that if I want to use it in the next class or something, if I do, it's corrected. So I didn't intentionally do that. So, okay. And then I would say that if it's professional, of course, you would use the colon rather than the comma.
Okay.
All right. But as I told Harpreet and Caitlin, I was fairly happy with the majority of discussion board submissions. Did you, what was your prep to do this assignment? What did you do to be able to write the letter, the email?
I read the chapter and then I went over your PowerPoint and made extra notes. And then as I was creating the discussion point, I was going over had the notes pulled up at the same time and then made sure I did everything that was needed for the negative part.
Yes. And let's see here. Did you put, yeah, and you did. So I'm always checking to see if they mention this matter of 24 hours. And of course, you would contact, let's see here, Terry, your grandmother Terry, and say, you know, Grandma, did they install the air conditioner? And she said no. Then you would have been calling them.
Right. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yep. Nope. Good. So just do exactly what you did, the kind of process you did, and listen to my notes. It's saying my internet connection is unstable, so I'm sorry if I go in and out. Okay, so but that's good. Let's see, or your discussion board email to Mr. Lord. Did anyone catch that it was Slumlord? Going S Lord, yeah, Mr. S Lord. Okay, so it was well done. Okay, so feel confident about that. I'm really happy.
For the actual claim letter assignment, I'm guessing that since you're sending a letter, you're not going to get a response in 24 hours. When you're doing that, should you put a response or should you just have an ending?
Well, so it depends, right? So you have to think ahead. So if you're in California and your grandmother's in Massachusetts, that's 4 days to mail the letter, unless you go ahead and send it special, next day air.
Right.
So, and it depends on, if you were in Boston and it's cooler there and you're sending it to your some place in Las Vegas, that would be about 3 to 4 days to take normal mail. You probably would want to send the letter certified which means they signed for it, but also next day, because you don't want a grandmother to be in 105 degrees in her upstairs apartment, which is probably 110
Right.
intensified, right? So so then you would say if they got it on, say you mailed it on Monday, and they would get it on Tuesday, you would expect a response on Wednesday, and someone has to take care of grandma in the in between, right? Grandma, you're going to have to go to the mall or something and stay in something cool, right? So that's the kind of thing that you have to be thinking about, and you would expect some kind of a response no later than Thursday.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions? And then how is the understandability about the guided notes? Do you understand them now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's it. Unless you have questions. I can send her a note about the scheduling the conferences. Okay. All right. Thank you for joining.